Yeah, as we all know, and in case you don't know, I'm Coach, and this is my little segment here, College Roundup, and everybody I'm sure watched, which was a terrific game last night. A lot better than I thought, a lot more points than I thought would be scored as we watched Virginia win their first ever college basketball championship.
And before you go there, we got to talk. See, you knew I was getting ready to do this, don't you?
I knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming.
That's okay.
Well, you know, for those of you who don't know, who's been on the rock a couple of days, you know, we started this whole what they call the pick segment.
Yes.
Where we're picking the Final Four. Remember we did that in NFL. Didn't we do that in NFL?
We did.
I just make sure we did that in NFL,
Who
right?
won in the NFL?
And you got us in the NFL. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, the biggest sport of all of them.
No, okay. Oh, you just gonna downplay everything else. The rest of us downplay, huh? And so we've got to talk about what happened during our segment of picks during the Sweet 16, the Final Four,
a lot of
bracket of 64.
A lot of losses for me.
A lot of ups and downs.
Well, not a lot of ups for me.
There's a lot of downs. So let's go ahead and run through, because last time we was here, we ran through.
I think I finished down there with Quest. How embarrassing is
that is embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
Leave
Quest alone.
No, he's way down there. No, you finished way down there.
Y'all are the experts, okay?
Quest, no.
Y'all are supposed to be the experts.
The educated guess.
The pitifulness of this whole thing. This is why this don't even count. So I'm gonna give you that one right there. Yeah, this is why this don't even count. My God. This is why this doesn't even count. Number one.
Okay.
That won the whole bracket. The same person that did not want to be in the whole thing. The same person that said, "No, I'm just here, just to be here." You know, Cedric, Matrix. What do we call him?
The director.
The Matrix. The director wins the whole thing. 140.
100.
Wow.
100, and he picked Virginia,
and they won.
Wow.
That's why he's the winner.
Wow.
The Matrix.
The Matrix wins, and it was.
What is your name?
It was funny that
and one
Can
running
we pick
away.
A name and stick
yeah,
to
he
it?
didn't just win.
He ran away.
Yeah,
Ran away.
And it was funny. He's like, you know what? It's funny that all of y'all get up there and talk about it, but
The
I
experts.
just put it in and just win.
Yeah, you know, flukes happen.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You know, it happens. It
That's
happens.
March Madness all the way around.
It happens. It happens. Second on the list. Second person.
Actually, before the championship game, if
He was already won.
It was done.
It was 108. He had 108.
After the Final Four games, he had already had a wrap.
He
was at 108.
He had 108, and the closest had 105.
He won then.
Uh-huh.
It was a wrap.
Yeah. He didn't have to win that game,
Wow.
but he did just to show us up.
Congratulations. He
Number
definitely
two.
had bragging right.
He back there dancing and everything.
Go ahead and do the stinky leg.
Yeah.
Hey.
Number two on this list. He hails from Duncanville, Cedar Hill. Was it Cedar Hill? Well, no, Duncanville, Wilma Hutchins, Lake Highlands, Sunset.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
He's
talking about himself.
He is an introducer and a producer of all that is and all that was and all that will be. The Benchwarmer.
Second place folks don't get anything.
That's just as good as what I did. You
Come
didn't
on,
win.
man.
So what are we doing
You
here?
didn't win.
You win, sir.
Y'all are on me.
Anyone that come after
He's
number
trying
one,
to catch any wave that he can
No.
catch.
you don't get the spotlight, sir.
You took an
You
L
tried
just
that.
like the rest of us.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
like, why
you.
were you even going there? The person that gets the spotlight is the Matrix.
Yep.
Because he picked the winner.
The winner.
The only one out of that entire group that picked Virginia.
Yeah, he is the only one that picked
The
Virginia.
only one.
No, he gets the accolades. You need to come a notch down.
I can't do that.
Come a notch down.
He also needs to thank the refs.
No, no. What he needs to thank Texas Tech, because they were not. Now let's get into the game.
Yes. Very good game.
Texas were not. Their offense did not show up at all. I think it was
Tech's
more.
offense?
Yeah,
No,
Tech's offense. I think it was
both
more of a.
offenses showed up. I think Tech's defense didn't show up. the defense we had watched the whole
Yeah,
tournament
that
was
defense.
not there.
Yeah, that defense wasn't there. But I think it was more of the offense because, you know, first of all, they're taking. I understand that you're taking threes and everything, but you only had like what 2 or 3 shooters in that whole offense. You know, and then Virginia's offense really wasn't showing up either.
Not in the first half. I think both offenses nerves were high in the first half, and if you saw in the second half, really picked up offensively. I think where Tech made their mistake, the big mistake was defensively because if you remember, they're up 3 points. There's 20 seconds to go.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen them leave a 3-point shooter that wide
they
open
left them wide open
whole tournament.
And that one before overtime, right?
Yes.
But here's the deal, though. You know they was crowding up. Who's the guy who normally shoots the threes? They went and crowded him, and I think that was one of the best play in the whole for that day in that whole tournament was that play when he pushed it off to the guy in the corner.
I have to question the coaching there because the one thing that you can't do in that situation is give up a 3. And not only did you give up a 3, you gave up a wide open 3.
Right.
How is that possible in that situation?
I question.
There is no reason to come off of a 3-point shooter.
I question the coaching of Virginia won. I give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But who's that number 0? You keep him in the game. Like he is important.
Yeah, they should have kept 25.
And he done jack, and they take
That
25
boy
out
was
at the pivotal point of the game. They pull him out of the game because that's your mini Dennis Rodman.
He was 20 when he number 25.
25, yeah.
You said 0.
No 0. He could have stayed on the bench.
Oh yeah.
I think they needed more offensive presence on the court at the time.
But he wasn't giving it to you.
Maybe they thought,
he wasn't even a shooter.
You know, sometimes it's just strange. You go with a gut. You go with your gut feeling on your lineup. Some coaches go with their gut.
And then remember the line that Jim Nantz gave up 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. There were no there were no drives down the court, points off the fast break.
Oh, no fast break points.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, both of those teams. I mean, they wanted it. Both teams deserve to win. Unfortunately, there can only be one winner.
One winner, yeah.
Right.
And I was actually
did you see them
for
coming
Texas
home
Tech.
today, and the whole crowd was? I'm talking about Texas Tech.
Yes.
Came home. I mean, their faces were just so long, and all the people were trying to cheer and motivate them. They just walked in.
Because
long faces.
Well, remember they made it to the Elite 8 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got beat. And then you make it to the final. Then you make it to the championship. That's
and had it won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Not
They
only
pretty much had it won.
had they not let the 3-pointer open, they'd have won that game. And then they gave it up in overtime. Because it was pretty much over. After we went to overtime, Virginia just took over.
Yeah, that they felt defeated when they gave up the 3-pointer. You could just see the emotion.
They couldn't do it no more.
Go out of them, and they had given everything they had, and at that point, you could just see it on their faces that they just didn't have it anymore. And that sucks.
I've often asked this question: what's a worse loss? A loss is a loss, but what's a worse loss? The last second loss, or the after the fourth quarter we know we lost?
I'd rather, and I'll probably be in the minority, but I'd rather get blown out.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I'd rather know I'm finna get ready to lose.
I'm not trying to be up by 3 and somebody hits a ridiculous 3-pointer and get fouled.
And get fouled. Yeah. Oh,
I don't know. I'll probably be like Adam Morrison was in the tournament a few years ago, where he started crying before the game was over after a bad play had happened. I'd have been like that. I'd have just dropped to my knees and just started crying.
Yeah, I'd rather you just blow me out. Just let it know that I lost.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy that's sitting there and I make the defensive mistake and my guy gets the big 3 and I have to live with that for the rest of the
Or the guy that goes up and know you're going to get a clean layup and rims off.
Exactly. The tips that help teams survive and continue.
Right. I don't want to be that guy either.
No, it's tough. It's really tough. And Tech, and it's hard. You know, getting to the tournament and the Final Four is not easy.
Right.
I mean, next year is not promised.
Who guarantees? Right.
I mean, you lose players. Coaches leave their school and go coach bigger schools. And it happens all the time. And so Tech knows you may go back down
another
30, 40 years before they get back in this position again.
Yeah,
so,
you might go back down to the abyss again.
You might. And as for Virginia, they've been the same team for the last 10 years. They play real good defense. They have a couple of shooters. there's nothing pretty about what they do, but it's consistent and it wins. So
isn't it funny that these two teams? Wait, we got echo in here.
no, I thought
that was my bad. I was trying to do something.
Isn't it funny that these two teams have not won a championship? This is the first time that
In the
two
school's
teams
history.
in the school's history. I mean, this is a team. Virginia had Ralph Sampson. This is the first time since 1990 that two teams have played that have not won a championship, national and in '90 it was Duke.
yeah, well, Virginia's in the toughest conference in college basketball in the ACC. I mean, they have to deal with Duke and they have to deal with North Carolina every single year. So it's going to be hard for them. Tech is really just Kansas.
Yeah.
Really in the Big 12, it's really just Kansas that's been the dominant team. And, it's more surprising that they haven't made a better run before.
Because
now.
the Big 12 is not necessarily basketball
No,
country.
it's not a basketball conference. It's a football.
It's all
conference.
football, yeah.
But, it's
But
just
you would
not
think
easy.
you would think it'd be more across the board. There are a couple of teams that go back and forth in the Big 12. I mean, Oklahoma every once in a while, Texas every once in a while, Kansas. There's no set standard in the Big 12 of who's running baseball.
Well,
Basketball.
Oklahoma's a football school. The whiny orange heads, that's a football school.
Why we got to put? Why are there always adjectives
The
behind?
whiny orange
Oh,
heads.
UT. I'm
I
sorry.
like that.
Matter of fact, congratulations for winning the not in tournament. The NIT.
The NIT.
Congratulations to them. For
Not
that.
in tournament.
And let's talk about Baylor, the girls.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
congratulations to the lady.
Can we
Bears.
say
Yeah.
ladies, women, not girls?
Okay, the ladies.
The
Thank
Lady
you,
Bears?
Lady
They've
Bears.
done it a few times.
Yeah.
They continue to
they're
put out a good product out there.
they're starting to be a
Basketball.
basketball
They've been a
powerhouse.
powerhouse.
They've
I mean,
been
you
a
got
basketball
them. You got
powerhouse for a while.
Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee's fallen off since
Tennessee,
Pat
yeah.
Summiton left, but UConn's
Still there.
Stanford and Notre Dame stays in the mix every year. But yeah, Baylor is the real deal.
Yeah. And they'll be there for a second or two.
They will be there for a while. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. On that end. Quick thought though. I mentioned this right before we came on air, and we've given our congratulations to Virginia. Now I'm about to go to. I think Virginia may be the luckiest champion I've ever seen.
Yes.
Because they had a lot fall into play for them
Yes.
throughout this tournament. Balls bouncing their way, a lot of non-calls. And I understand sometimes you have to be lucky. It's better be lucky than good.
But not that
But
lucky.
I don't think I've ever seen it to this level, where just about outside of maybe the first game they had, there was
Everything
some
else was-
controversy in every other game, or some silly play. They purposely miss a free throw, and just so happens the ball bounces right back to that way. They get the shot. I mean, just all kind of crazy stuff. Auburn has them beat. The guy double dribbles, the rest misses the call. Then they call a ridiculous foul when he's shooting a three. Just a lot of stuff. And they took advantage of it. So I give them all the
you got
credit
to.
in the
You have
world for
to.
taking
You're supposed to.
advantage of it,
Yeah.
taking advantage of it. But I'm not so sure they were the best team.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think that they were the best team because I mean even up to the last minute the out of bounds call. Okay, now for me, we looked at that thing over and over again. Yeah, you can kind of see the pinky hit the ball. But it's supposed to be conclusive, right?
Yes.
And it was not conclusive at all. It was like it could have not. I mean, the one play down on the other end where looks like the backhand hit the ball. It should have been Virginia ball, and it went Texas way.
Yes.
That was more conclusive than the other. And then they called them both ways. So things like that right there. And in the fact, I still go back to how do you have? I don't even know what's number 0. What's his name?
For which team?
For
You
Virginia.
mean 25?
No. Number 0 for Virginia.
Oh.
Who all he did was just dribbled and pass, and that's it.
That's the one you wanted to stay that needed to be on the
That
bench.
needs to be on the bench. Yeah,
Well,
didn't shoot a
25
shot the
back
whole
in.
time.
He keeps the ball moving.
Yeah,
That's the point of him being on the court.
yeah, but you
can't
can't.
have a lot of ball stoppers. You have to have guys that are in there just to do one job: keep the ball moving, set solid screens.
He wasn't even setting solid screens. He was just walking down the court and then dumping it off, and then he'll run around, and then that's it. That was his job: walk down the court, dump it off, run around. That was it.
Well,
They had
the coach needed him on the court for some reason, or he wouldn't have had him on the court.
maybe he was a senior. Maybe we're gonna
Maybe.
give him some
No,
playing
I'm
time.
not going to play a senior just to play a senior in a
Right.
national title game. I'm not doing that. We can celebrate and turn cartwheels after we win this game, but we're not putting you in just to put you in.
Well, I mean, I still would have had 25. I still would have had Dennis Rodman's little son on there. He did look like Dennis Rodman.
Man,
he was
he looked
rebounding
like Dennis Rodman.
he was rebounding
really
like Dennis
did.
Rodman
And
too.
blocking shots.
Yeah, he was blocking and rebounding like Dennis
His
Rodman.
name
Like,
was Kahai
and-
Clark.
who's that? Number 0?
Is that what his name?
Okay, Honey Clark.
Well, who was 25?
25.
That's the bond for Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a shot blocker. I can't
Yeah,
pronounce
yeah,
it.
I liked
yeah.
him.
That's a defensive player right there.
And just tell him what happened when you asked our son who was Dennis Rodman. It's like, I don't know who
he
you're
said, I
talking
don't know who you're talking about. I'm like, you don't know who Dennis Rodman
You know
is?
who Dennis Rodman is? What?
Number 25 was Mamadi Dakati.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hottie. He reminded me, his
That's
name
close
reminds
enough.
me of a
I don't know if
knife.
that was pronounced properly, but that's
Yeah,
close
yeah,
enough.
yeah. We don't even know. Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
It reminded me of one of them knives, you know?
Well, he's very raw. He
Very
didn't pick
sharp.
up a basketball.
He is, right,
I was
right.
reading an article about him. He didn't pick up a basketball until he was like 16.
But this boy right here,
Really?
this boy, he, I think he can be. See, not the only thing that I loved about this tournament is it brought out defense. It brought, this might be that turning point, that pivotal point where, okay, defense is where we need to start going. We need to start focusing on defense because every league is a copycat league.
Mm-hmm.
So now you get these college teams saying, okay, I need to teach more defense. It brings defense to the NBA.
Well, I don't know because Auburn, Bruce Pearl's team that he was coaching, they averaged more 3-point attempts than anybody in college basketball. There was like 33 a game. They hit 11, somewhere along those lines, 11 or 12. And they really should have been in the championship game. That was the game I was talking about with the missed calls, and who I thought was really the best team because they didn't have as much luck throughout the tournament.
They just did it. They were Auburn did. People. Yeah, Auburn did, and they was doing a lot of upsets. It was like, I mean, not upsets, but you wouldn't think they would beat this team.
They played like old school Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
They full court pressed you. They run and they shot a lot of threes, and I think the teams with the least amount of talent might focus more on defense because defense will keep you competitive.
Keep you in the game, yeah.
But the teams that are blessed with all kind of talent, the Dukes, UConns, and North Carolinas
they don't
of
deal
the
with.
world. I mean, they focus on defense, but they're
not as much, though.
gifted. They don't have to focus on it to that level.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. Uh-oh. What happened?
What'd I do?
Nothing.
So Professor told me that he had something to say about why Virginia was the best team.
I was alluding to who was the better team in the championship game.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was Virginia because they came out. They was up 15-6 after 10 minutes, and Texas Tech found themselves having to fight back, and they did. But Virginia made the shots.
Right.
They came out just stomping on the Red Raiders. I can't believe that Virginia would be the best team. I don't know about that, but as far as the championship game, they were the better team. I can tell they were the better team over the Red Raiders. The Red Raiders showed, and from the gates, that they couldn't keep up with Virginia for whatever reason. They were missing shots. Virginia, like he said, luck was bouncing their way. They was making every shot.
And that's why I guess that's where I would have to disagree with you on as far as the championship. I think Texas Tech was the better team. I think the issue is that Texas Tech wasn't hitting their shots,
but Virginia was making theirs.
But if we would, when we ask who's the better team, let's put the best against the best. I think Texas Tech's best beats Virginia's best.
I don't believe that.
I think they're two evenly matched teams, and one team made a play.
Now I can believe that. Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. Okay. When you watch it,
no,
I mean they look evenly matched. I think Virginia got off to a really good start.
They did.
Texas Tech flexed their muscles and
got
back.
Came back. Yep.
And this thing went into overtime, and there you go.
And I think the demoralizing shot was that 3-pointer.
It was.
And yes. I think after that, Texas we can't do this.
It goes back to what I said. They were just making their shots at the most opportune time.
I still think Texas Tech was a better team, but in the long haul, I think Texas Tech is going to be there longer than Virginia.
Moving forward?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you say that?
Because the coach knows how to put together. I mean, he's it's his third year there. Texas Tech has never even the closest they've got before last year was Elite Eight. They hadn't gotten that closer. You know, they go from Elite Eight, then you go to a champion, then you go to championship. I think you're putting together a team, and then you got your juniors and your sophomores. I think he's putting together a talented team if he stays.
Okay.
Now, if he doesn't stay, that's a whole new different situation.
Why would he not
My
stay?
point exactly.
Because, man, it's gonna be so many colleges gonna want him.
Try to eat him up.
So many
scoop
big
him up?
colleges. So many big colleges that are okay. We're basketball. We're a basketball town, so we need some basketball person. He's gonna be the first person on the list.
I'm surprised UCLA didn't go after.
I know.
After Rick Barnes turned him down.
Yeah, he did because Rick Barnes stays in Tennessee. In Tennessee. Yeah.
Yep.
So he's gonna get it. So if he stays, then they're gonna be around for a second or two.
They'll be real competitive. I think Virginia, there's more of a history there
Yeah.
of being a good basketball team. So I don't know if Tech can
Now-
stay relevant.
Now, I said if he stays, I don't think he's gonna stay because you hear his press conference, right?
No, I didn't listen to his press.
His press conference was almost, I love these guys. You know, I'm gonna be there for them
Yeah,
when
they're
they
supposed to say that.
No. I'm gonna no. Listen to what he said. I'm gonna be there for them when they get married, when they have their first kid. I'm like, oh, what about the kids that are there now? He's gone.
Well, I don't know if there's a big job out there for him right now. The biggest
I mean,
one was
UCLA.
UCLA. Yeah, but they just hired the Cincinnati coach.
Oh yeah.
So that job is taken. And you're not going to leave Tech for Cincinnati.
And you're not going to leave Tech for Texas. Texas not a big enough job, is it?
Yeah. Well, Shaka Smart saved his job when they won the tournament.
Yeah. I mean, what else is out there?
No, I don't
There's
think
really
anything.
nothing.
Right. I mean, Alabama. I think they finally fired Avery Johnson, but I think they already found.
They should have fired Avery Johnson like 12 years ago.
I think what's his name? Chris Beard. He'll be back next year.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
Which means that they'll be Texas
I
going
think
to
they'll be back in the tournament.
Mhm.
If the question is, will they go this far again?
I think so.
I'm
Well, I don't know if
that.
it's hard to get unless you're Duke. It's hard to get to the championship game 2 years in
Even
a row.
Duke.
Even Duke
Don't
didn't make
get
it
there on a
Yeah.
regular basis. It's difficult.
The Dukes didn't make it.
No.
All right.
So